Extreme tag?
Sure.
Tag!
Jesus told a famous story about a kid who ran away from his dad.
It started happy, then it got sad, then it ended happy.
Read it for yourself in the Bible. Read it in Luke chapter 15, right here. Tag.
Hey, MecKidz challenge you to memorize the 10 Commandments. This is not an easy challenge. Put God first, worship God only, use God's name with respect. The list just keeps going. This is a lot to memorize, right? But the 10 Commandments challenge was no match for the first kid to send us a video. Ruth, she had it all memorized in just 1 week. Watch this.
I memorized the 10 Commandments. Put God first, worship God only, use God's name with respect, remember God's day of rest, respect your parents, don't hurt other people, be faithful and married, don't steal, don't lie, don't worship other people's stuff.
Way to go, Ruth. You memorized God's top 10 rules for kids to live by. Be on the lookout for other challenges from MecKidz.
Hey, Pastor Jonathan here. One of you did something absolutely amazing. Congratulations to Clara. Now, she has no idea yet, but I'm about to give her a call and let her know that she was the very first person to accept and complete the MecKidz Hygiene Drive Mission. All right, you ready for this? Hey, is this Clara?
Yeah?
How are you doing, Clara?
Good.
This is Pastor Jonathan from MecKidz. Did you know that you were the first person to complete the Hygiene Drive MecKidz mission?
Yes.
Way to go! You did amazing! What types of things did you buy for the Hygiene Drive?
So we basically bought everything on the list.
That's amazing. And then after you got all the Hygiene Drive stuff, what are you gonna be doing with them next? Where are you gonna be bringing them?
We're gonna bring them to MecKidz Hygiene Drive.
Yeah, and do you know what types of people they'll be helping and serving?
Needy kids.
Yeah, people in need, people who don't have homes. Well, can I do something for you? I'm just gonna give you a little round of applause and just cheer for you. So, are you ready for this?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Woo! Way to go, Clara! You're amazing! Woo! Well, thank you so much for doing that. You are a rock star. Keep doing MecKidz missions, okay?
Got it.
All right. Well, we'll see you in MecKidz this weekend.
See you.
Well, we just love seeing the different ways that you are joining us on a mission to love others. And if you've accepted one of our MecKidz missions, always snap a pic and prove it by submitting it through our portal for your chance to be featured next. Bye.
Jesus once told a parable about a father and his 2 grown-up sons. The wise father knew that his younger son wasn't prepared for real life. You see, the son wanted to leave home, so he asked his father for his inheritance, a lot of money. The kind father was very rich and very generous, so he gave his son what he wanted. The son packed up his belongings, hopped on his horse, and went off into the world. His father loved him, and was disappointed to see him go. He was concerned about what would happen to his son. His younger son was immature, wasteful, and not prepared to live responsibly. The father was right. The younger son had no concern for tomorrow and lived only for today. He had tons of money and went to do all the wild and crazy things that a foolish young man could dream of. Girls, drinking, parties. He thought it was great. Everyone wanted to be his friend. But that did not last long. It was not long until the son lost all his money. Suddenly, no one wanted to be his friend. He became an outcast in a foreign land. No money, no friends, and no food. The young son realized his foolishness. All that he had was gone. Then he did the only thing he could think of, to try and find some work so he could eat. Oh, he found a job, all right, but it was the worst job imaginable. He fed pigs. In his culture, pigs were unclean. Just to touch them was considered wrong and defiling. The young man was so hungry that he even started thinking about eating the pigs' food, but no one gave him any. Suddenly, a thought came to him. Why was he here, lonely, hungry, and miserable? Why did he leave his father's house? I will go back, the son decided. Even if I have to feed the animals, I'd rather do it in my father's house. If my father is angry, so be it. I deserve it. I just need to come home. And so he did. Dirty and bedraggled, tired and worn, he journeyed back to his father's house. He was still far from home, but then he saw someone running towards him on the path. Who was this? Who could it be? It was his father. From far in the distance, his father had been waiting for him, looking for him, hoping for his son to come home. They embraced each other. Though the son didn't realize it, the father was eagerly waiting for his son to return. The son began to blurt out his well-planned apology. "Father, I've sinned. I'm so unworthy." But his father interrupted with a merry laugh. "Bring to my son the best clothes, the fancy ring, the fine shoes, and let's have a celebration." To celebrate his son's return, the whole household had a huge party, complete with feasting, dancing, music, and singing. Not everyone was happy about the son's return. The older brother, who had always been obedient and respectful, did not appreciate the party. He didn't realize the wealth and love that he lived with all along. Instead, he was upset that a sinner had been saved. In this story, Jesus was telling us that God is like the loving Father. He loves us, wants us, and will welcome us home no matter how bad we've been. His love for us is eternal.
Did you know that you can do things to separate yourself from God? The good news, though, is that you can always do something to return to God. We see how in the story of the prodigal son. Jesus told of a son who ran away from home. A bunch of bad things happened to him. Then he returned and asked for forgiveness. And when he did, his dad forgave him and welcomed him back with a party. See, the dad in the story, he represents God. And the son who ran away represents you and me. When we sin, it's like we wander away from God. Sin is when we do something wrong, like whether it's lying or hurting someone, being mean, anything that violates the 10 commandments that God gave us. Sin separates us from God. But God, he's a loving daddy, and he's always there ready to welcome us back to him. And when you come back to God by admitting that you've sinned and asking for forgiveness, that's it. God is so crazy in love with you, and he will always forgive and celebrate you when you return to him. Right now, get something to write with and a piece of paper. Write down any sin that you've done, literally anything wrong. Then tell God in prayer, "I'm sorry that I've sinned. Please forgive me." Then write the word forgiven at the top of your sins. God has forgiven you. For other things that you can do to connect with God, check out the home guide in the link in this description, and I will see you next time.